All right, everyone. Well, it's right at 6 o'clock. So we're going to get started. Welcome to Forex for Beginners. And I think I'm going to change the name a little bit and make it Forex/binary for beginners, and then possibly add Express to the end. We have so much value here at Epic. There's a full schedule with the Epic master traders all throughout the day. And then we're a part of Coach Max and Ryan DeFreitas' team. That's Dynasty Exchange. So that team has also a week's worth of um, exceptional live classes as well. And then we all are a part of Damo's team, Impact Over Profit. And we have a full schedule as well during the week. So in efforts to make it all manageable, we're going to keep this class to probably a half hour. Um, just give you some good solid tips and let you go about your day. All right, so all of these classes are recorded. So I'm going to paste in the chat my YouTube, and that's where you can find this class probably as soon as tomorrow morning, and any other previous class that you've missed. And let's get to it. So today, give me 1 second to share the PowerPoint, and we'll get started with what we're going to cover today. Allow my screen to catch up. All right, we've covered chart formations in the past. We've talked about some reversal patterns like head and shoulders and things of that nature. Today, we're going to talk about channels and begin to talk about triangles, which some refer to as wedges. Okay, so first, let's take a look at an up or ascending channel. So let's say you have your favorite pair, or maybe you have 1 to 3 pair that you like to trade. When you first pull it up in TradingView, normally you like to see if there is a trend. Those are the best times to trade, when the market is in either an uptrend or a solid downtrend. So a channel is something that you can look for. Price does not always move in a channel, but when it does, it is very fun, and it's a lot easier to trade. So what is a channel? If you notice what we have marked here, notice we have, and let me use an arrow for my pointer. We can do this one. Okay, so first we're going to start with this top trend line. And then we'll go to TradingView and look at a live chart in a few minutes. But notice, if we were to copy that trend line and paste it on the bottom, we can, for the most part, 90 to 95% capture most of this move in what we call a channel. And it's an up or ascending channel, because imagine a person walking up the stairs or walking up the hill. So this is an up channel. And it's created by 2 parallel trend lines. So first thing you do is draw your trend line here, copy it and paste it, and see if that can encapsulate most of the move up. Now, how do you trade a channel once you're able to identify it? Well, here, this bottom trend line kind of serves as support, and this top trend line serves as resistance. So instead of horizontal support and resistance, the trend lines serve as like a slanted support and resistance. So what you can do is buy when price is kind of resting on this support, and then you can sell when price hits your top trend line, your resistance, and works its way back down. So you want to buy at the bottom of the trend line and then sell when it gets to the top. So the really sweet thing about a channel is that if you notice, price for the most part respects these trend lines. So this top trend line, price is for the most part not going outside of it. And then this bottom trend line, except for these few candles here, price is respecting this bottom trend line. Now, you know, the Forex market, the market will do what it does. So what's great is if you take a buy here at this trend line and you go straight to your take profit. That doesn't happen here. You get almost there, then you have a little bit of a pullback, price kind of consolidates, and then it goes up to its TP. But just imagine entering a trade here. There's not any drawdown at all. You get 90–95% to your TP. Of course, you're protecting your profits all the way. You have a little bit of a pullback, and there you are, you've hit your TP. Now, because we are in an uptrend, you know, we're taught to trade with the trend. So once you've identified that it's an up channel, you may only want to take buys. So you could take a buy here, you could take a buy here, and so forth. If you are a little bit more advanced and you don't mind counter trend trading, then you can take a sell from the top of the trend. So notice if you were to enter here, no drawdown at all, and price makes its way to your TP. Now notice if you were to take a buy here, price gets about halfway, it retraces, you're still not negative, but you have a choice. You can either enter here, maybe secure your profits once you see if that pullback scares you. And then you could take a second entry here and you have a little pullback there and you go straight to your TP. So let me just add text where we could take our buy. Text box. So we could take a buy here. And we could also take a buy there. And if you're okay with counter trend trading, that's not what I wanted to do. Let's just create another text box to indicate where we would take our sells from. Here at the top of the trend line, we would sell there. Let's see if it will allow me to paste it. No, it will not. So we'll insert text and we could do, now notice if we took a sell here, the path to our TP is a little bit more rocky because price begins to fall and just kind of plays around for a while before it finally decides to sell. So you would not have been maybe slightly negative if you entered here and price went here, but eventually it does make it to its TP. So this is an example of how you could take trades once you've identified a channel. So let's look at another example of the same thing, but now we have a down or descending channel. So just imagine you had a little stick figure here who's walking down the steps or walking down the hill. This is a down or descending channel. You would start with this top trend line here. We get an arrow. Okay, so once you create this top trend line and then just kind of copy it and paste it, and here you can see that price is respecting this bottom trend line as well. And that's how you know if price is in a channel. You sometimes once you get familiar with it, you can kind of eyeball it, but if not, just draw your top trend line copy and paste it and see if price respects the bottom trend line. So just like with the up trend line, the top one will serve sort of as your resistance, and this bottom one will be your support. So in terms of the trades that we can take, so remember our trend is down, so it would be safer to take sell trades. So we could enter here near the top of the trend line, and we get a nice drop, small pullback, and down to our TP. We could also enter another sell here. Now, price is playing around a bit, so you would get a nice drop. What's that? 80, 85% close to your TP, but then you have a little pullback. Price kind of plays around, consolidates before finally dropping. But when I first learned about channels and when I was taught this, it really just gave me a respect for the Forex market. And it actually gave me, hope that I could be a full-time trader, because now, have you ever had times in your trades where you wondered, okay, I'm going to take this sell, but how far can I take it? Like, where should I make my TP? Have you ever been in a trade and you're in profit, but you're kind of scared, so you kind of exit out prematurely because you don't want price to retrace? Well, the beautiful part, yes, yes, Glenda, you are not alone. That has definitely been me. When price is in a channel, and it's so much better when it is, you have a wonderful idea, if you're in a sell here, where to put your TP. And this is why it helps to trade, 1 to 3 pair, because every pair is going to move differently. Some pairs really respect channels. And one thing that I should point out, you can mark these channels in any time frame. So if you're a scalper and you're on the 5-minute, the 15-minute, you can identify a channel like this. But if you're an intraday trader and you're on the hour time frame, it's the same thing. You can see these channels no matter what time frame. And for the intraday to swing traders who either have the patience, don't have the time to be on the charts all day, you can take this, imagine taking this trade on the 4-hour or daily, and just being in this trade for weeks and just having the confidence to know that it may take some time, but this would be your target. So this is it's very comforting when you can identify a channel, but just know that, it doesn't happen all the time. Now, let's go over this example. What if you're drawing your top trend line and you can already tell that price is not in a channel? It's moving a certain way, but the pictures that we've seen before with this down channel and this up channel, you can tell when you get to your chart that this is a different beast. It's not the same thing. Well, go ahead and draw your bottom trend line. And if they meet, then this is what you call a symmetrical triangle. And some people call them wedges. There are so many of these triangular wedge patterns. So we will have lots of time to go over some more in future weeks, but I just wanted to introduce it to you. So how do you trade a pattern like this, a chart formation like this? Now, you can still do your trend line to trend line, your highs to your lows. Just know that, the number of pips will decrease the closer you get to this point. But a lot of traders will take this as a sign to use a breakout strategy. Now, a breakout strategy, don't let the fancy name fool you. There are different ways that you can do it. One, you can, if you have the time, you can simply watch the chart. You can watch the chart. You get a arrow here. You can watch the chart, and as it gets to this tip, then you see, is price going to break out here for a buy, or is price going to break out outside for a sell? So if you have the time, you can simply watch the chart and let price action. Remember, price action is the candlestick patterns. What is price? What are these candles telling me? So you will know if price is breaking out or to the upside for a buy, or if it falls and you can take a sell. Some people choose to do pending orders. So with a pending order, you could set and let me type this out. You could set a buy stop pending order here to say, if price gets here, then I'm going to take my buy. Or you could set a sell stop somewhere here to say, if price falls below, I'm going to jump into a sell. So another option, and let's write down these options as well. So option one was simply watch the charts to see which way price breaks out. Okay, so let's get rid of that number. Okay, option two is you can set a pending order, or pending orders. Option three is you can set trading view alerts. So in trading view, you can create a horizontal line on your chart and set an alert. So if price gets here, maybe you're not comfortable with pending orders, because the one disadvantage of pending orders is you can't look at price action to evaluate if it's a real good trade for you to enter. So one thing you can do is, and I'll show you before we go into trading view, you can just create a horizontal line in trading view, and you can set an alert so that when price gets to that line, trading view can send you a text message. It can give you an annoying beep on your computer. It can send you an email, 5 or 6 different notification methods that trading view has. And you could also put a horizontal line down here so that when price fell outside of this triangle, trading view would let you know. And then if you're available, you can go and look at the chart and determine at that point if you want to enter a buy or a sell. All right, so we've covered 3 different chart formations that you can look for: the up channel, the down channel, and the symmetrical triangle. What's key to all of this is being able to draw a trend line. If you can't draw a trend line, it's going to be hard to determine if you're in a channel or a symmetrical triangle. Now, Savvy, we have her on the call. She's an amazing instructor. And I was on one of her Saturday trainings, and the topic was trend lines. And it was so good. It was very hands-on. People were actually sharing their screen and drawing trend lines, and Savvy was correcting them and making sure that, one, you include the wicks. You definitely want to include the wicks, especially if you're trading on higher time frames, because that will help you with your entry and your exits. You want to avoid cutting through the candle bodies. And when we go into trading view, I'll show you an example of what not to do. And then let me get rid of this. So those were the 2 tips that I wanted to show you, but I really recommend everyone for you to watch Savvy's class. So she gave me the link to that class, and let me make sure that I can post it in the chat. Here it is. Okay, so right there in the chat is a link to Savvy's class on drawing effective trend lines. Make sure you're comfortable with drawing trend lines before you attempt to identify a channel. So before we wrap up, let me go into Trading View and give you, you're welcome, a few tips. Let's switch over to Trading View. Oh, awesome. Savvy says she'll be doing another live one in 2 weeks. So awesome. All right. So one thing that I found really super helpful when trying to identify if price is in a channel or how it's moving is, so we're looking at AUD CAD. This is the 1 hour time frame. You really want to zoom out. So if I refresh or reset the chart, this is what you see when you first pull up the chart. So, kind of looks like we're in a downtrend. The way to know for sure is to click on this zoom out minus, and the farther out you go, the better. Look how much easier it is to identify this channel. So let me delete it and show you how I would do it real time. So, and what you want to do is don't try to make the entire page, the entire chart fit into a trend. Take a nice section that looks sort of like one big movement. So I'm going to take my trend line. I'm going to do my best to kind of match or hit the tips of the wick. It doesn't have to be perfect. There we go. And then what I'm going to do is, now I have a laptop, so Control C, Control V is how I would copy it. And then I'm going to see what happens here. Now, there are different ways that you can do it. Doesn't have to be perfect, but this can just kind of give you an idea. So if I scroll over to the left, I think that was the one that I had in the PowerPoint. So yeah, with this pair, price has really been in an uptrend. So as you can see, and not everybody will draw their channel exactly the same, but this will give you some practice. So this AUD pair really loves channels. So imagine this is an uptrend, so buys would be the safest. But imagine taking a buy here at the bottom, and there was definitely a bit of consolidation, but it really respects the top of this trend line. All right. Any questions? I did want to cover just a few minutes of binary. We can call it a binary bonus, but please let me know if there were any questions about how to identify these price channels or trend line channels. Don't be shy. Let me know if you have a question. So this is, before we go, this is the 1 hour time frame. Let's go down just to prove that it works. Let's go down to a smaller time frame. And of course, I'm really zoomed out. But even here, I can see a small channel. And that's because, my eye is kind of trained. It takes a minute to get that perspective. Can you use the parallel channel the same way? Glenda, that's an excellent point because I didn't cover it. The parallel channel, so what I would do here, just to show you an example, then I'll move this here. And you don't know it until, you don't know if it works until you try it. So let's do Control C, Control V, and we're kind of close. We are kind of close if we started there. So look at all these trades. You could take a sell from here on down, since we're in a downtrend. Once price hit that trend line again, there's another sell, makes it about 95% before pulling back and then getting close to it. So when you can find a channel, it's a great place to practice these trades from the top to the bottom. Now to answer Glenda's question, what do you do when price is in consolidation and it's going horizontally? I don't know that I'll be able to find a quick example of that, but You can trade it, but just in general, the money is in the trends. So a horizontal channel is just, a period of consolidation. I typically don't trade those, but most would tell you to just wait for that breakout. All right. Any other questions before we head over to binary? I want to cover just a few minutes of binary, probably with each class. I think binaries is pretty fun. So I want to give you just some tips and tricks just for a couple of minutes. So what we covered last week was pocket option. This is one of the binary options brokers. And I like pocket option because it's easy to get a demo account. We are so accustomed in the Forex world to when you get a new broker, you get a demo account, but it's not that easy in the binary options world. Most binary options brokers want you to have a funded live account and then you get a demo. Well, since mostly everyone is new to binary, pocket option is probably the best way to start because they give you a free demo account like we're accustomed to in Forex. So it's pocketoption.com. I'm showing the laptop or computer version. Maybe next week I'll show you how to do it on your phone because lots of people trade binary options on your phone. So we covered this last week, but I'll just show you the basics of what you need. Here in the upper left corner is where you choose what you're going to trade. So currencies, these are the Forex pair that we're accustomed to. The percentage here is the payout. So what's really neat about binary options is that you get to decide how much you want to risk per trade. So moving over here, this is my demo account. I may want to risk $20 for this trade. So if I'm trading Euro Ruby, then I'm going to get 80% of my $20 if I win the trade. So naturally, some would say the higher the payout, the more money you make. So that's the way to choose. And another school of thought says, well, if the payout is really high, that's a really volatile pair. So if you're just starting out, you may want to start with something conservative. So two kind of schools of thought there. Now there are cryptocurrency. This broker offers Bitcoin, and I'm not familiar with that one. There are commodities, there are stocks, something else super fun. Guess what? You can trade binary options 24/7. So when the Forex market closes Friday at 5, you can head on over to binary and kind of have fun in your demo account. So the whole goal of binary is to decide, is price going to rise or is price going to fall? We're accustomed to that with Forex, but there's a time constraint. So here I'm trading, we're looking at, let's go to something familiar. Let's go to AJ, AUDJPY. This second icon, there are lots of icons here. I'm only going to hit on the ones that I think you need. This area lets me choose candles. This is kind of like what we're familiar with in TradingView. So we'll stick with candles. Here is where we choose our time frame. So we are on the 1 minute chart. So the M is for minute, the S is for second, the H is for hour, and then there's the daily. So just like TradingView, you can choose which time frame you want to be on. Okay, and here is where you choose your indicators. So it's kind of like TradingView in that sense. So what I'm showing on my chart is a Bollinger Band, as well as where is it? There it is, a moving average. Okay, and then here, expiration time. So I am on the 1 minute chart and I want my trade to last for 30 seconds. So let me make sure I chose that correctly. Yeah, here's where you can choose how long you want the trade to last. So it kind of makes sense. If I'm on the minute chart, then I'm going to choose a trade that expires, that's my expiry time, in 30 seconds. And I'm simply going to press the green button if I think price is going to go up at the end of that 30 seconds, or I'm going to press this red button for sell if I think price is going to go down in 30 seconds. Now, last week when I was showing my chart, there were some annoying icons that were really blocking the candles. So I wanted to go back and show you what was going on there. If you click on social trading, this is actually listing other traders and how much they're making real time. So if I click on this settings options, one, I can hide my profile so that my stats are not seen by the world. And look what happens if I click on display social trades. Now, here are some icons of the flag of the country that these traders are on. So that's what was hiding the candles last week. So let's turn that off. Click on social trading so that it goes away. And let's just practice a trade just so that you can see what happens. So let's let this candle close. Remember in trading view, it tells you how much time is left in the candle. So this candle has about 16 seconds left. So I'm guessing that price is going to bounce off of that EMA. So I'm going to go for a buy if price continues to tell me to buy. So I'm going to bet $20. And notice here, trade successfully placed. So, oh, actually, I took a minute trade. That should have been 30 seconds. Let's see. So what I can do is click on trade. And guess what? We are winning this trade. As long as this dollar amount, $34, is in green, then I have 30 seconds, 28 seconds left in this trade. And so far, I'm winning. So now it's just a waiting game. If this drops to zero, then I have lost that trade. Notice my account went down. So because I'm risking $20, when I place the trade, it immediately takes the $20 out. So that way, if I lose it, the money is already gone. If I win the trade, it gives me back my $20 plus whatever percentage of my payout. All right, closed. We won that trade, $34. That's how you take a binary options trade. So there are lots of trainings going on throughout the week. I think there are anywhere from 2 to 3 binary trainings a day. So that's where I've been going to get an idea of which indicators to use. So I think that's enough for one session. Are there any questions? Social trading, no thanks. Seems distracting. Absolutely. It's yeah, definitely a community, but yeah, I don't need to know what everybody else is trading and see their results. You guys are free to come off mute. Let me know if you have any questions about binary before we call it a class. Any questions at all? Don't be shy. Well, if not, we're right at 6:34. So we were able to stick to our half hour. I'll get this class recorded and post it on my YouTube. Don't forget about Savvy's recording here about trend lines. So that will help you be able to identify channels on the Forex side. And if there are no other questions, I do see a question. One second. I missed how to set up to take a binary options trade. Yeah, no problem. So it's kind of similar to TradingView. So you can do everything here. You know, with Forex, a lot of us use TradingView to set it up and then take the trade, you know, on our phone. You can do everything here on this one screen. So you go here to choose what you want to trade, and currencies will show you your Forex pairs. You can choose a cryptocurrency, a commodity, a stock. This is open 24/7. So I love to practice over the weekend once the Forex market closes. So once you choose your pair, this percentage will tell you what your payout is. Then you come here and you select how long you want the trade to be. It can be a 2-minute trade, a 3-minute trade, a 5-minute. It can be as small as 30 seconds. It's not showing me that at the moment. But basically, you look at where price is, you use your indicators to you really have to understand price action. And I think that based on this smooth moving average, that price wants to respect it and bounce. So I can take a buy, which means I think at the end of my expiration, that price will be higher than where it is when I press the button. And if I think price is going to drop from where I enter, then I'm going to press this red button for a sell. And then I'm going to click on trade, and my live trade will be here under open. And then once it's complete, it goes over to close. So you always have a record of everything that you've done. Make sense, Fatin? And that's basically Awesome. Yeah, that's basically it. It's really about having a good strategy based on your indicators here. So what I'm showing here is a Bollinger Band, and price typically respects this top part of the band. So, you know, once price reaches here, you're going to look for a sell eventually. This smooth moving average, you can see how price is respecting it. So once it kind of hits it, it's typically going up. At some point, price is going to reverse once it hits the tip of that Bollinger Band, and then we can go for a sell. But there are some strategy classes with binary. So hopefully this gives you enough to be able to check those out and know what's going on. You can, if you want to get rid of an indicator, you simply click it there. Just like TradingView, if you want to hide it, you click on the eye. And if you want to modify it, you click on the pencil. And this part looks a lot like TradingView. You can choose the color and how thick you want the line. And if for some reason this dark background kind of throws you off, if you go under your account name and settings, if you go to theme, you can click on the light theme. And I'm going to go back because it's really weird now because all the binary instructors use a dark theme. So I'm kind of getting used to it. And there was a question in the chat about the use of the Bollinger Band. Yeah, it's let me get rid of that. So let me put the band back on there. Basically, do I want to say it's support and resistance? Very, very loosely, but basically it's putting sort of a balloon around price. So if I scroll back to the left, as price moves, the upper Bollinger Band kind of forms like a top, like a resistance. And then the bottom of the band kind of tracks with price and gives you a support. So one strategy that I've learned is when price gets near that support, you're going to be looking for buys. Imagine if you took a trade here, you only needed to be higher than this point in 30 seconds. So you would have had a full 3 minutes to clear a positive trade. And likewise, when it hits the top, it likes to fall down. So that's just kind of one basic strategy. But again, they're kind of like a number of indicators that you can use, and that's why the demo is so important, and that's why I love Pocket Option, because you can play around with different indicators, make sure you have your strategy down before you open your live account. So how's that, Henry? You good? All right. All right. Anyone else? Binary is it's definitely a different world. The shorter trades, the 30-second trades are great, but maybe it's something that you can practice on the weekends when the Forex market is closed and if you're not trading crypto. All right, everyone. Well, I will get this recording posted to my YouTube by in the morning. And if there's nothing else, happy trading.